SMEs are the backbone of the Philippine economy. Unionbank has laid down the groundwork for creating an ecosystem helping businesses through an integrated user experience connecting key stakeholders in the ecosystem. SMEs can now have immediate access to financial service providers, points of sale or POS, accounting, inventory, human resources, tax and payroll services, supply chain management, and providing business communities and engagement in B2B and B2C marketplaces. In building that ecosystem, Unionbank Globallinker was born. It's an online platform with social networking capabilities that help SMEs manage and grow their businesses. On their first year of launch, they already have 33,000 SMEs signed up in the platform. Their promise: to become a one-stop hub for business owners. 4 pillars. Network with potential partners and suppliers from a global network of SMEs. Engage with thought leaders and create your own topics for discussion. Avail exclusive deals and offers from business solutions that will help aid an SME's business. Create a DIY e-commerce shop, linker.store.
I think one major role that Globallinker plays is its ability to create a digital platform that for business growth. It's a huge help because it provides for an avenue where businesses can interact, learn, and at the same time expand their networks.
But as a social media platform, Globallinker helps build the community of SMEs and link them to the right markets, suppliers, financiers, and advisors.
I've actually established a contact in Philippines who is interested in my product, and we are working on ways how we can do that. So hopefully, it materializes.
The future of the SME sector in the Philippines is endless. With fintech, business growth can accelerate by breaking down barriers, setting up important connections, and moving daily activities. Success is definite. It's just waiting to happen. The growth of SME filters to all levels of the Philippine society. This sector employs more than 60% of Filipinos. So many lives will be transformed with the success of SMEs. Unionbank Globallinker will be there to make it happen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rommel Ng. I'm the one of the co-founder and president of Buffalo Swings and Things, and also the founder and chairman of the Resto Coach. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, and welcome to our this afternoon session of the Practical Coaching Series by Bounce Back Network Philippines. Magandang hapon po, and again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Resellee and Unionbank Globallinker. No? Magandang hapon po. So today, pag-uusapan po natin is about leading your team or leading your business, navigating your business through the crisis. So please, can we show the slides? Thank you, Jason. No? So as we said earlier, the Practical Coaching Series by Bounce Back Philippines po ito. No? Today, we're going to share with you our experience, my experience for that matter, regarding how were able to navigate the 2020, particularly the period when the pandemic started, and of course, and how we will share with you practical tips that you can apply to your own businesses based from our experiences. Next slide, please. So let's begin with yung series of events or yung chronological sequence of events. So let's take for example during the start of the crisis, yung feeling of helplessness is normal. So yun yung una nating insight, no? It's all right to feel helpless during the start of the crisis. It's normal because especially what happened in March of 2020, nobody expected that to happen. Although there were signs already, you know, that was one of the lessons in hindsight of this pandemic, was that we should have seen and we should have taken the early signs more seriously. Kasi as early as December, there were already news about a new virus. But of course, nobody expected it to be at this level and at this scale of impact to the world, no? Economically, of course, health and safety. So we were helpless at the start, and then ang tip natin doon or ang ating naging guidance is that we should determine what we can control and what we cannot. Very important for us to understand, no? There are things that we cannot control. That of course priority natin dapat safety. We should prioritize safety and health of ourselves and our people and our family, and then think of the business later. But very important for us to determine, to segregate what can be managed and what we cannot manage, what we cannot control. External factors and internal factors. Sige, sunod po natin. Midway through the crisis, so habang siguro bandang mga April to May, no? You start to plan to become productive, no? Ibig sabihin, ang plano dapat from helplessness to productivity. So productivity would include yung I've touched on this subject and it's actually on my page, The Resto Coach. Ang sinasabi natin doon is that yung 5 R's, no? Review, reflect, refine, reinforce, no? And then recover, no? Ang sinasabi natin doon is that even during the time, like say for example, in our case, we're operating restaurants. Nung hindi pa allowed mag-open yung mga restaurants, you should have optimized that opportunity to study, no? To review your performance of last year prior to the pandemic. Of course, more importantly, no? Kailangan alamin natin how many inventory we have, what resources are available for us. Of course, yung mga expiration dates and all the possible potential problem analysis, ika nga, no? Potential problem analysis and of course risk analysis. But again, as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to prioritize people, the health and safety of our people. Now during this time, no, when you start becoming productive, it is ang mindset natin dito is that we need to accept, understand, and appreciate the reality. The faster you can accept the reality, understand it, no, do some research, no, observe, of course, talk to people, talk to the right people who can provide you insights from their own experiences. Sabi nga natin, parati natin kino-coach, no, is to not only learn from your own experiences, but also learn from other people's experiences. And then lastly, by doing so, accepting and understanding it, you'll be able to appreciate the reality and start seeing the opportunities. You don't see only the challenges, you start seeing the opportunities. And then kasabay nun is you become more productive. So from a state of helplessness, you now become productive. Next, please. Then before the crisis ends, no, yan, medyo arguable, pero parang dyan tayo nandoon ngayon, ano? Dapat yung feeling na mo at nung team mo is empowered na kayo, no? And the crisis that you went through, the experiences, we need to, sabi nga niya, no, we need to fail forward or we need to fail fast, no? Kailangan from our experiences during the pandemic or during the crisis, we're able to formulate, no, yung mga best practices, what not to do again, what to prioritize. So by that time, no, after being productive, you will now feel empowered. You'll now feel empowered. You're able na, you and your team, you're able to adapt with agility. mas nagiging mas nimble na kasi again, no, from a stage of helplessness, naging productive yung ikaw at yung team mo, and then you start becoming empowered. Mas nararamdaman nyo na yung circle of influence natin mas lumalaki na, no? Because we have more things that are controllables. Di ba? From the state ng napakadaming non-controllables nung start ng crisis, magiging naging productive ka, so feel mo yung, of course, yung fulfillment and of course yung gains or yung accomplishments from being productive, then now you feel empowered. So towards the end, next please. Yan, no? On the road to recovery, no, you are starting to empower others as well. For you to be able to sustain what you have gained or accomplished, yung mga best practices, no, systems, improved systems, enhanced processes, for you to be able to bring that to a higher level or to expand the impact of that, you have to empower others. You have to involve your team more so, no, give them latitude. Hindi lang ikaw dapat yung na-empower. It's not you who became empowered, but also your team. So that now, as a team who have gone through that crisis together and, having those undergone the challenges, the difficulties, and convert and translate all of those things, seemingly negative at first, into a positive power, being empowered, and you are now able to sustain, replicate, and expand. Yan, yung kwento ng, if you look at this slide altogether, pag pinagsama-sama na siya, of course, we look at it now in hindsight. But, when we start to remember April last year, magka-goosebumps ka talaga, because, at that time, when it happened, March, sarado lahat, there's lockdown, and all of the terms that came out na lahat, practically bago sa'yo. It is leadership that will enable a team to navigate the crisis. So that's yung punto natin today, no? That's why we chose the topic leadership. Leadership is a crucial, and the most important driver of success as we navigate a crisis, no? Because yung namumuno sa Tagalog, yung nagtitimon, yun yung magdadala ng mindset, heart set, at saka of course yung ikikilos ng buong team. So next slide please. So speaking of mindset, ito I will share with you some of the leadership mindsets that worked for us as we navigated them. And we continue to navigate. Hindi pa naman po tapos. The vaccine is just being prepared for deployment or inoculation. But it's very important for us not to be complacent. But at the same time, we start, recording or documenting all the things that we did right. To simplify, what did we do right? Number one, is yung leadership mindset. It's very important for the leader to remain calm, collected, never show panic, anxiety, or stress. Because the pandemic, in this example of a crisis, the pandemic, you have to recognize that it affected not only the minds of the people, not only the health and safety, but also the mental health, and the hearts of people, meaning yung kung pinanghihinaan ba sila ng loob, the spirit, ganun katindi yung tama niya. So there are a lot of worries and anxieties and stress. And as a leader, you have to lead starting with your proper mindset. So number one mindset dyan is being prepared. And when you say being prepared, you have to stay aligned to your purpose. Doon mo siya i-anchor, meaning, let's say for example, the pandemic happened, it can be your company's purpose, which mas maganda kung by that time na-cascade mo and everyone in the organization knows about your purpose. And it can be, and more importantly, it should be your personal purpose. Leadership mindset dictates that you are a servant leader. So pag nangyari yung pandemic, you don't think of yourself and your family only, but you think of others, your team, in the context of your business, for example, the community and how you can help them. So when I coach about preparedness, it's basically a lot of it is anchored on alignment to your purpose and your vision. Do not lose your vision. Kahit na nagkaroon ng crisis, you have to stay focused on your purpose and aligned with your vision. Okay? Number 2, no? Remain positive, no? Yan yung karugtong nung una, no? Anchoring yourself on a clear vision and goal. So medyo ipa-fine-tune mo, no? The vision prior to the pandemic is definitely different ngayon na nagkaroon ng pandemic. It might be the same destination or the same end state, but alam natin yung challenges that and the hurdles that the pandemic brought into not just companies but families also and communities, no? And people, individual people. So anchor it on a clear vision and a clear goal. Yan ang importanteng marinig ng tao, no? Very important for your people to hear the direction. No? And pag may malinaw, if there's clear direction, and they're prepared, meaning everyone's aligned to the purpose and vision, then it's not hard for people to be positive, no, despite the challenges. Because nakaka-angkla sila, no? Meron silang, may pinagkakapitan, no? Anchored, no, on a clear vision and goal. So people won't find it hard to be optimistic. Kasi mahirap din, you're optimistic without any basis or without anchoring it on something, no? Something concrete, no? Although in this case, you'll be surprised, no? Seemingly intangible ang vision and goal, but a lot of people get motivated, get driven when there's clear vision and goal. Number 3, so prepared ka na, positive ka na, then babalik tayo, no? You start becoming productive. You start focusing on high-impact activities. The reason why we emphasize yung high-impact activities because during a crisis, managing or allocating resources, particularly human resources, while trying to ensure that they're healthy and safe, is of utmost importance. Hindi pwedeng magsayang, no? Hindi pwedeng magsayang, magtapon. So that goes, it's the same when you talk about effort and time of our people. So productivity dictates that you're efficient, effective as much as possible, and you're focusing on high-impact priorities. And then lastly, next please. After mo maging productive, consistently productive ka, you now can aspire to become more proactive. Although sinasabi nga, ang hirap namang i-project, no? Ang hirap mag-project sa restaurant parlance, ang hirap i-project ng mga benta at budget for 2021. Yes. But imagine how much more difficult it was in 2020. Talagang lang siya, no? Week to week. No, sanay pa naman tayo ng annual budget, no? Sanay tayo ng quarterly budget at the very least nakalatag na yan, no? Semestral budget. But 2020 taught us that we need to be nimble, we need to be agile, and we need to be open-minded. And more than being open-minded, we need to observe, to exercise due diligence, for us to be updated on the current state of events. No, it can change. No, quarantine restrictions, government regulations. More importantly, yung how the virus was spreading, and the impact, the corresponding impact to you that's relevant to your business. External factors became more parang more impactful in 2020. Talagang direct hit of external factors. But the good thing about it is that if you recognize that internally you can make adjustments, and again, I emphasize learning from best practices, making sure that you don't commit the same mistakes over again. If you're diligent enough to document all of those, you can now translate your productivity into proactivity. From the nagre-react ka lang sa mga challenges, you now can anticipate. Because you start seeing the patterns. No? So, summarize natin. So, as a leader, need to have the mindset of, being prepared. And this not only applies to you, but also to your people. No? Yeah, you and your people need to be prepared. How do you become prepared? You align everyone in the organization with the purpose. Yan yung why natin, no? Why are we still working despite the pandemic? Why are we still trying to recover despite the challenges? No? Why are we, why, no? And ako, yung pinakasimple dyan na motivation nung kasagsagan ng restriction is that, we need to provide employment for people. We need to decongest the wet markets and the supermarkets and help the community by providing convenience and comfort to our customers. Diba? Kaya even nung wala pang gaanong activation yung aggregators by yung April 12, 13, 14, I remember that those periods, no? Alam, we pursued opening the stores just for delivery. And we were taking orders via Google for, kasi nga, people saw it not only as a business objective, but a more importantly, a deeper purpose, no? That everyone can share. So yun yung magandang example. And then secondly, positive, no? Ang hirap yan because, you're talking about, and people, you cannot force people to be positive. May proseso of, explaining the whys, no? Of course, being supportive as a leader, being a source of comfort and joy and hope. And then when you do that, it's only the people who can decide to be positive. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, okay, switch on, maging positive kayo. Hindi pwede yun. It is by example and also by the things that you do to tangibly support your people. And then they will say, okay, there's hope. We can be positive. No? Nakikita natin sa leader natin that he's doing the right things, and I believe in the vision and the goal. It can be accomplished. And we can serve a deeper purpose. So prepared and positive kayo. Then productivity becomes easier because people are already volunteered positively their effort, their time, and their resources. No, unbelievable. I'd like to take this opportunity to commend, our team sa Buffalo Wings and Things during the pandemic. Talagang when they work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. just trying to, again, to revive the business, to reopen again. And also our franchise partners, I'd like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to them. No, and hindi sila sumuko. No, they were one and they joined us in our efforts to reopen and start the process of recovery. Kaya pagdating sa dulo, prepared, positive, and productive, mas madali na siyang maging proactive. Kasi at the start, we can never be proactive. This is a new thing. No? Almost everyone was caught by surprise. Next, please. Okay, let's talk about the details of some of the things that can be done as you lead a team through or a business through a crisis. Number one is the recognition that ikaw as a leader, and your people, there are things that no one else can give you. No? It is only you who can decide to give it to yourself, no? Or to take on it. Number one is motivation. Medyo paradoxical. Parang as a leader, you want to motivate your people. Pero paniniwala natin, you can only inspire your people. The motivation can only come from their decision to be motivated. Bakit? Kasi po, iba-iba ang motivation ng tao. Diba? Iba-iba yung kanilang purpose for being. Iba-iba yung ating mga pinaniniwalaan sa buhay. Iba-iba yung ating primary, secondary, and tertiary reasons for working, no? For trying to help. Iba-iba yan. Iba-iba tayo ng purpose. So, recognize that motivation can only come if voluntarily decided upon by the individual. Number two. Next, please. Discipline. No? Ayan po. Magandang coaching point. Number one, motivation pala. Ako lang ang makapagbibigay sa sarili ko. And my teammates also, sila rin ang makapagbibigay sa sarili nila. Number two is discipline. Discipline is a decision that only the individual can make. Because if it is imposed upon you, if you do something because it is imposed upon you by another individual, that is obedience. Hindi po yung discipline. Kaya hindi na po kailangan dugtungan ng self-discipline yung salitang discipline. No? Ang discipline talaga po, ang de-decide lang yan, yung individual. Tayo po, we decide to do things, to wake up early, even to work from home tayo, to strive to do our best despite the difficulties, to follow to be punctual, to be present, to be prepared. Lahat po yan, it requires discipline. Okay? And again, it can only come from your own decision. Number three, commitment to excellence. Napakahirap pag-usapan yan nung panahon ng pandemya because again, People are worried, people are concerned about primarily, of course, health and safety. Ako baliktad, no? Ang sinasabi natin, the more na dapat nating pagtuunan ng pansin or i-prioritize ang commitment to excellence. No? Because, yun na nga, no? Commitment to excellence is actually interconnected with health and safety. Actually, that's the first step of committing to excellence. Excellence, because you cannot be, you cannot deliver quality without food safety. No, in our case for restaurants, no, you cannot deliver speed, no, if you don't make sure that there's health and safety first. So commitment to excellence, no, I'll put it this way. Sabi nga ni John Maxwell, di ba, the first person to lead is yourself. So leading yourself is very simple, no. Set excellence as your standard. Meaning, if again, no, parang disiplina and parang motivation. If somebody else is setting the standard for you, you're not leading yourself yet. No? Hindi pa. So if you want to lead, the first step is to set high standards for yourself and commit to excellence as your requirement para sa sarili mo, no? Standard para sa sarili mo. Okay? Motivation, discipline, commitment to excellence. One more. Isa pa po. Next. Uy, naputol. Hindi na po nalagay sa slide pero bonus na, no? Dahil nakikinig kayong maigi. No? Dito malalaman kung sino yung nag-picture lang ng slide o nakikinig talaga. Number 4, no? Hindi nalagay sa slide. Accountability. No? Hindi po although arguable yan, no? Technically, pwedeng impose sa'yo accountability. Pero again, pwede tayong mag-debate ron. Pero para sa akin, mas maganda po kung voluntarily we take accountability. And, medyo hindi po ako mahilig sa usaping politika, pero we talk about society, no? Society na lang in general, not government, no? Not the citizenry. But society in general, even in the past, ay isa sa pinakasusi para po magtagumpay ang isang lipunan at magkaroon ng kaayusan. For there to be peace, order, and civility, no? Accountability. Hindi po tayo nakaturo sa iba. Sa halip, alam natin, no? We take full accountability for our decisions and our actions. Ngayon, tingnan mo, kung kumpleto ka na, no? As a person, you are motivated, you are disciplined, you are committed to excellence, and you take full accountability for your decisions and actions, ready kang mag-lead kahit na anong crisis pa yung dumating. Diba? Sige po, next page na po. So, another tip, kanina pinag-usapan natin yung 4 na bagay po, no? 4 na bagay that only you can give to yourself, and it is only you who can decide to take, to have motivation, discipline, commitment to excellence, and accountability. Ngayon, ito naman po. Ito yung isa sa naging natin, nakatulong sa amin during the height of the pandemic. Let your purpose drive you and your values guide you. Yan, di ba? Parang if you're traveling, di ba? If you have, ngayon, GPS na, nung araw, ang example na, nahalata tuloy yung edad ko because the examples I used before during training was a compass, no? Ngayon, no? Cellphone na lahat, nandoon na lahat yan, no? GPS, no? Ika nga, yung true north ng isang tao. Ang mag-guide sa'yo, yung why mo. Let your why drive you, yung mag-motivate sa'yo, para maging disiplinado ka, no? Para magpursige ka, no, to be determined and to pursue, no, every day, to have that drive. And then your values will guide you. Yan, napakadali po magdesisyon. Ako, papasimplihan ko na lang po. Tama o mali. Yun ang pinaka-basic values. So, doon magkakakilala ang tao. No? If you always choose to do the right thing or you do the wrong thing. No? Wala nang gray. No? Wala nang kahit ilang shades ng gray. Black or white. Tama or mali. So under that, we say, revisit your purpose, vision, and mission of your company, and even yourself as a person, as the guiding principle for your decisions and actions. Madali mag-decide pagka malinaw sa atin yung purpose natin, yung why natin, yung vision natin, and yung mission natin. No? Of the company and of the leader himself. Po, next po. Secondly, sinabi dyan, no? You don't actually have to, no? Parang as a leader, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to spoon feed people. In fact, mas mag-enjoy ka pag sinunod mo tong template na ibibigay ko po natin sa inyo ngayon. No? As a leader, have the humility to just present the reality, no? Information, and then experience, ask the right questions, and let your people connect the dots. Mas maganda po pag sila yung nakaka-realize. Okay? Ito ang nangyari, mag-MECQ, no? Ito yung mga restrictions, no? etc. Tatanungin mo lang sila. So, ano ang dapat gawin ng operations team natin? Ano ang dapat gawin ng marketing team natin? Ano ang dapat gawin ng ating HR para matulungan yung tao? And you'll be surprised, no? Ma-harness mo yung laman ng isip at puso ng tao. And you'll be able to accomplish things, no? That pag ikaw lang ang gumawa nun, baka ito yung accomplishment mo 10% lang. Pero pag in-involve mo yung tao mo and allow them to think, to decide, and to take full accountability, then you are actually developing not followers but more leaders that will help you navigate through the crisis. Next, please. Yan, no? Napakahalaga. Speaking of commitment to excellence, commit to the standards you have set for yourself and your team. No? Mahirap na pag nag-waver tayo, no? Never waver. Pag po tayong mawawala ng loob, pag nag-commit tayo sa standards na ito, huwag natin i-adjust yung standards. No? At magko-compromise tayo para maging mas madali. Alam mo, lahat po yan. The difficulties and the challenges of committing to the standards even during a crisis, no, mararamdaman po yan ng ating mga stakeholders, ng ating customers. Like for example, if we commit to quality, no, quality, health and safety, mas malaki yung impact niyan during the crisis. Because ang feeling ng tao, much more than ever, no, they need us to be attentive to the standards. Diba? So again, no, commit to them and never waver. Next, please. Lastly, no, sabi doon, unleash, no, parang may kaugnayan din doon sa pakibalik po doon sa previous slide, unleash talents and align systems to achieve results. Pag nagawa mo na yung unang tatlo, madali na sa huli because you're just giving people latitude, you're unleashing their talents, lalabas nila voluntarily yung talents nila, and they, with the proper systems in place, all you have to do is just to make sure that everyone is aligned. And then the results will happen. Next slide po, sir. Okay, ito na po tayo. Practical tips, no? Number 1. No, ito more on the technical side. If you're running a restaurant business, calibrate your ideal P&L based on the new realities. Kung nagbago yung food cost, nagkaroon ng additional cost for health and safety management resources, lahat po yun, i-adjust natin because you have to do a lot of, kailangan we're diligent enough to update yung pencil pushing natin. Because kung sa theoretical pa lang, hindi nakikita yung business, wag na po nating pagurin yung tao natin. No? Of course, it's the leader's responsibility to make sure that strategic calibration happens para lahat po, no, na nag-e-effort ay magkakaroon din ng ng hinahanap nating profit and resources, added resources, especially during the crisis. Ang obligasyon po, no, is ng isang leader is to make sure that a business model that we are operating with during the crisis actually works para hindi po tayo nagta-trial and error. So P&L includes, of course, looking at your food costs, adjusting your menu, no, streamlining it if needed, opening up new revenue streams, like yung iba, ganun ang ginawa, nagbenta na ng items sa supermarket, no, binenta yung frozen inventory nila, no. Lahat po yun, kasama dyan, no, calibrate your ideal P&L. What's the core business model that you will operate during the crisis? And then saka mo na lang siya ibalik sa dati. No? Number 2 is listen to your customers and understand what is most valuable to them. Yung shift po nangyari most especially sa market, sa customers. So we have to understand what is most valuable to them and to deliver what really matters. No, again, it's related to number 1, bawasan po natin yung trial and error. Number 3, Always try to put a personal touch and establish emotional connection. Eh po, ang hinahanap po ng tao, especially during crisis, hindi lang po yung functional or practical. Hindi lang po pagkain, in our case, in the case of restaurants, but also the comfort, the joy, the convenience, the accessibility, and all the intangibles. No? All the intangibles that make them feel better as people. Last, yan. Strive to provide a remarkable experience. Siguro pa pwedeng pag-consolidate yung 3 and 4. A remarkable experience make people feel better. No? Pangit naman na may crisis tapos parang we're delivering mediocre products and it doesn't provide the necessary, parang yung uplifting para sa ating mga customers. So yan po, practical tips. So now we proceed to the questions, ipinapadala po sa atin dito. Thank you very much sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig at nanonood, and please share po natin para mas marami pong makinabang. Again, thank you to Resellee and Unionbank Globallinker. Thank you very much po sa lahat ng ating mga sponsors. Number 1, how do you keep employees motivated when salaries are delayed already? No, actually, yun po yung very important, in our case. I think hindi dapat na-delay yung salary eh. So dapat gagawa natin ng paraan as business leaders to make sure that yung fundamental, yung basics, yun muna yung ma-address natin. And you have to make tough decisions. Kung talagang hindi na po kayang bayaran lahat, then of course, if we need to talk to people and prioritize muna natin yung certain sectors of our team, yung mga top performers, then we need to do so. Hindi po pwedeng mag-suffer yung lahat, and then eventually lulubog. O kaya, piplease natin lahat, tas eventually lulubog yung barko, so to speak. So, again, I think this is medyo mahirap pagka nadidelay na yung salary. We have to make the right decision para hindi na lang ma-delay at bayaran natin kung ano yung mga hindi pa nababayaran. Number 2, how many % is your current sales sa delivery nyo against dining during the situation? Yan, magandang tanong po. Significantly, tumaas po, I think by roughly 150%, tumaas po yung percentage natin. Depende po sa tindahan, but in majority of the cases, dumoble po at mahigit dumoble pa. Because depende rin po sa shift, pagka nag-iiba yung restrictions, gumagalaw din po siya. Ang importante po yung produkto natin nakapag-migrate successfully to delivery because it is also bagay siya for delivery. The quality doesn't suffer much if delivered, and you have a network of stores that makes delivery accessible and convenient for customers. What do you think about sa pag-convert sa cloud kitchen? Well, depende po, depende po sa concept. What we have to bear in mind is to think of a dish, sabi nga natin kanina, yung formula does not change. It has to be a signature dish, a signature experience, and a solid business model. Ibig sabihin, profitable yung business model. Okay yung pag-convert sa cloud kitchen if you want to expand the reach of your starting up, pwede rin. But if you're a startup and you do a cloud kitchen, you have to invest in branding and marketing. Kasi hindi nakikita yung tindahan literally, so you have to promote it online. Okay naman po yan, it increases accessibility. Number 4, how long do you think this crisis will last? Naku, hindi ko po mahuhulaan yan. So ang nagiging approach ko na lang po is to, of course, day by day, we thank God for the blessings, and sabi nga natin kanina, adapt with agility. Kailangan po lahat ng natutunan natin kasi medyo mahal po yung naging tuition fee natin sa experience na to. Then we need to optimize the learning and make sure that we get better every day. So now with the vaccines being talked about and being implemented, even after the vaccine is may survey po kaming nabasa na sinasabi na takot pa rin yung tao. So I think the best way is for us to the faster we get educated and we learn about vaccines and the implications of it and convince people to be vaccinated, the faster this will be resolved. How do you know kung need na i-close down ang rest of business? Yun yung sinasabi po natin kanina, kung on paper hindi na po siya kumikita, wag na po nating i-risk. Kailangan we do the pencil pushing and the computations, and if hindi na po talaga mapo-project na either tataas ang benta or mag-improve yung cost management, then better siguro kung isasara na natin. Okay? Do you think that it's advisable na magbukas ng bagong branches ngayon? Yan. Yun. At anong advice sa pag-franchise ngayon ng business namin? Well, ang expansion kasi ngayon may opportunity rin talaga, no? But again, it is a different business model. You need to adapt to the changing needs, mataas ang delivery, mataas ang pangangailangan for convenience and comfort. So doon tayo papunta. Even kung ipa-franchise mo siya, doon dapat papunta yung negosyo mo, no? Yung to address. Ultimately, it's about the customers and what they need. So if your business is going to be able to address the needs of the customers, then go ahead po. Ano po ang plan ng Buffalo Wings and Things? Nag-expand po kami ngayon. We're still expanding different business models and also current business models. Again, the important thing is that you exercise due diligence and you know, studying and evaluating individual opportunities. Hindi po pwedeng generic. Kailangan bawat isang location pag-aralan and do the feasibility study. Okay, is the nighttime crowd going up or going down? Ngayon po, talaga pong mababa pa po ang night crowd because of the restrictions. In fact, if we look outside the street, ang aga po, 7:30, konti na lang sasakyan. Actually, dyan po tinamaan din yung mga restaurants, no, even outside the mall. Because of the difficulty in commuting and traveling and of course the anxiety over the virus, nawala po yung late dinner crowd, no. Early, in fact, yung dinner crowd mismo na 7 to 8, bumaba po talaga yan. But I guess, no, it will get better as the vaccine gets implemented. Do you use your own delivery riders? Hindi na po, na aggregator po kami ngayon, but of course it's always part of the study, no. We're still evaluating it. I'm planning on making platters out of our food. Is this a good strategy? It depends po, no? When you say platters, bundles, depende po dun sa, tingnan nyo po yung inyong product mix, kung gaano karaming, and your transaction counts. Gaano karaming customers per transaction, kung marami pong groups, hindi ko po alam kung yung platters na tinutukoy nyo, individual platters or platters for sharing. But again, it all depends on kung may history na po yung product mix nyo, may history na kayo ng benta, pag-aralan po natin ano yung sinasabi sa atin, malalaking grupo ba yung umu-order, no? And again, the value is very important. Whether it's individual platters or platters for sharing, value pa rin po yung magiging determinant ng ating mga customers if it will be a top seller. What do you suggest the platform for selling food na hindi po as expensive as Foodpanda and Grab? Ako, no, marami pong available, no. I cannot just mention the ano ngayon, hindi ko po at the top of my mind, but there are several Filipino companies already coming up with delivery solutions, no. Siguro po may ano lang natin dito, may post na lang dito sa Bounce Back Network page after this session. Ano po ang direksyon ng mga malls in terms of increasing their rent? Pwede po ba mag-appeal? Pwede po naman mag-appeal. Wala naman pong pagbabawal sa pag-appeal. And I think in 2020, it was shown that the malls really were open to helping the restaurant businesses. No? Malaking bagay po yung naitulong ng concessions noong 2020. And I think, no, they're as always, they're open to listening, and it won't help. I think the Resto PH is a group that I belong to. Belonging in that organization, you can, you know, have your voice heard and join an appeal, no? So, pwede naman po. So, yan lamang po, pinaparap up na po tayo rito. Pasensya na po kayo sa aking lighting, no? Hindi po ito yung aking original venue, but I'd like to thank Mr. Jason De La Rosa, of course, brother. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share. And I'm always excited and looking forward to opportunities to, of course, share the valuable experiences that the pandemic has taught me as a person, as a leader, and as a businessman, no? And of course, sharing it with others so that they don't have to go through the mistakes that we learn from. And sabi nga, no, learn from other people's mistakes. It is more efficient or effective than learning from your own. So I hope that everyone enjoyed this session. Magandang hapon po muli sa ating lahat. And as I always say every Tuesday, po sa aking Coach and Share, sa The Resto Coach, no, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your wings up. Thank you very much po.
SMEs are the backbone of the Philippine economy. Unionbank has laid down the groundwork for creating an ecosystem helping businesses through an integrated user experience connecting key stakeholders in the ecosystem. SMEs can now have immediate access to financial service providers, points of sale or POS, accounting, inventory, human resources, tax and payroll services, supply chain management, and providing business communities and engagement in B2B and B2C marketplaces. In building that ecosystem, Unionbank Globallinker was born. It's an online platform with social networking capabilities that help SMEs manage and grow their businesses. On their first year of launch, they already have 33,000 SMEs signed up in the platform. Their promise: to become a one-stop hub for business owners. 4 pillars. Network with potential partners and suppliers from a global network of SMEs. Engage with thought leaders and create your own topics for discussion. Avail exclusive deals and offers from business solutions that will help aid an SME's business. Create a DIY e-commerce shop, linker.store.
I think one major role that Globallinker plays is its ability to create a digital platform that for business growth. It's a huge help because it provides for an app view where businesses can interact, learn, and at the same time expand their networks.
But as a social media platform, Globallinker helps build the community of SMEs and link them to the right markets, suppliers, financiers, and advisors.
I've actually established a contact in Philippines who is interested in my product, and we are working on ways how we can do that. So hopefully, it materializes.
The future of the SME sector in the Philippines is endless. With fintech, business growth can accelerate by breaking down barriers, setting up important connections, and moving daily activities. Success is definite. It's just waiting to happen. The growth of SME filters to all levels of the Philippine society. This sector employs more than 60% of Filipinos. So many lives will be transformed with the success of SMEs. Unionbank Globallinker will be there to make it happen.